Hi guys, my name is Wildkard, and welcome back to my channel. This is Super Rugby, Round 3, Trans-Tasman, Highlanders versus the Rebels, in the beautiful oval called the Leichhardt, in the inner west of Queenstown, New Zealand, next to apparently an airport. It's really interesting to see professional players play in front of an amateur stadium, pretty much. There wasn't much of a sitting around the area. There was basically a grass hill. Basically grass hill, and there was one stands on one side. But nice little suburbia town in Queenstown, hey? And apparently next to an airport. I guess the Highlanders will be keen to jump on that right after the game and head home and enjoy their little win over here. So, this game, it was really close at halftime, and the Rebels were well and truly in touch with the Highlanders for most of the game. But the Rebels really lacked, again, that grit and determination and that lift at the critical times to close out the game and to really make that critical plays. So again, I think the Rebels choked under pressure. And the Highlanders were able to stay composed under pressure and capitalized on the Melbourne Rebels' mistakes. So the game started fast and furious for the Highlanders, and I almost turned the TV off right away. Okay, 1 minute into the game, 1 minute, Highlanders had a line out around the halfway point. There was a chip kick from the lineup, a chip over, a stupid kick, in my opinion. Okay, straight to the Melbourne Rebels fullback. But the Rebels fullback literally made no effort to secure the ball from this chip kick. He just flagging around, looking at the kick bouncing. And he had his back turned against the chasing Highlander players. So he just didn't look like he was committed to get the ball, period. And the Highlander chasers were determined to get the ball, okay? Despite the fact that the Rebels fullback was there, in position to recover the ball, he did not get the ball. The Highlanders fullback came in, chasers, Collins comes in, emphatically claims the ball for himself, goes in for the try for the Highlanders. Less than a minute. I almost turned the TV off right away. I could not believe the Rebels fullback just flaying around, not getting the ball. That was horrendous. Okay? And the atrocities did not stop. The Highlanders piled on pressure on the Rebels. About 10 minutes later, the Highlanders were again in the attack inside Rebels half, just building phases. And this was around just outside the 22-meter line of Rebels half, so it's not really that dangerous. And the Highlanders just spread the ball out wide, very nothing tricky, nothing crazy. Spread the ball out wide. Elof gets the ball. Tompkinson gets the ball. At the win, he runs straight into Corbetty, who was set to defend. He just stepped him. Corbetty gave him one of those high fives. You know, I see he ran past, just give him a high five basically. Really poor tackling, really poor defense from Corbetty's perspective. And again, I was fuming. I could not believe they just letting another soft try. So Tompkinson goes in 14 minutes into the game. And the Rebels are down 14 points to 0. And at this point, there's 1 point score for the Highlanders every minute. Yeah, was not looking good. However, the Rebels did manage to build themselves back. So for the next about 20-25 minutes, the Rebels were really in control. And it's really frustrating because for this 20-25 minutes, Highlanders were giving away silly little mistakes, allowing the Rebels to mount attacks and pressures, mounting pressures onto the Highlanders. But the Rebels' execution has been pretty poor. So the Highlanders, despite putting up quite a bit of pressure around this period of the game, the Rebels didn't actually capitalize as much as they should have. Eventually, Rebels did crack themselves with their first try. And it's the man that have not been able to score a try for the entire season. Probably the best player in the Rebels side, Marika Corambetti, goes in for his first try. It's actually really good to see that Corambetti is not running around the field, picking and driving the ball. He's actually staying in the right parts of the field where his talent is needed, like on the wing, where his speed and agility and power really shines. Instead of in some of the previous games where he gets really frustrated, he starts like going into the more and trying to pick and drive the ball, which he does pretty well. And it's just like, that's a forward's job. Now you've done well to get the advantage line. There's no one out wide to finish the run. So he's being able to stay in position for this game, and he has been rewarded with 2 tries this game. So the first one came at 26th minute, and Corambetti basically, basically this was a nice series of pressure applied to the Highlanders. Nice good offhands. There was a nice little offload in the center field, and then a quick ball from the center to Corambetti at the wing, and he has a nice little space to work with in the down the wing, and he goes in for his first try. Looked very, very good. He's fast, and he was too close, too fast to be stopped at route range. And then the Rebels kept on piling on pressure. The Highlanders, basically towards the end of the first half, was under the pump quite a bit. The Rebels actually able to secure a second try before halftime. So the Rebels were putting pressure on again. There was a penalty leading to a line-out for the Rebels. A line-out didn't really go anywhere. I think they tried to set up a maul. So the Rebels gets the ball out and start running crash balls. And just pick and go, one-off pick and go, or like pick and drive, or it's just a one-off pass and crash ball, right? 2 quick balls later, there was a few phases later, Elof actually goes over. He's big prop. He gets a pick and drive. He actually goes over, and then the referee and the referee goes, "All right, we're gonna have a look at the screen." And Elof goes to the referee, goes, "No, I dropped it." And the referee's like, "All right, you dropped it. Let's just play on." So luckily, Rebels were under full arm advantage when Elof went over the first time, where he dropped the ball. So they didn't have to go to TMO. Elof just went, "Yeah, sorry, I dropped the ball. Don't have to watch it." And yeah, so it was pretty honest of him to save a lot of time. So Rebels had a full-on penalty. They take a quick tap right in front of the goalpost, and Powell just passed the ball straight back to Elof. And it's like, try again, boy. You missed the first one. Let's try again. And he just gets the ball, and he runs straight and hard into the Highlanders defense. And he gets over this time, and he had to like wrestle himself a little bit to put the ball down. But yeah, that was really, really good effort from Elof. Second attempt, he gets it over the line, gets a try, 38 minutes. Tamura missed the first conversion, but he gets the second conversion. So, halftime, Highlanders were leading Rebels just 14 points by 12. So, it was game on. Despite the horrendous start for the Rebels, which I almost wanted to just walk away, they did manage to come back a bit. And Highlanders did look like they dropped off their intensity a bit as well. So, at halftime, you can see the Highlanders stayed on the oval, had a good chat before they went into the shed, whereas the Rebels just went, yeah, okay, let's go to the shed and sit down for a bit. Anyway, you can see that the difference in mentality between the Australian teams and the New Zealand teams just by what they do during halftime. Like, the game is won on and off the field, and the Highlanders stayed on the field, had a group chat, recognizing that they're under the pump, they needed to lift their games and really like tidy up some of the mistakes that they were giving away to the Rebels. However, in the second half, right away, the Rebels had a penalty. So Highlanders right away gave away a silly penalty from right at the start of the second half. And it was just past the halfway point, and Rebels decided to take the penalty kick. And had a new fella called Worth come in for the kick. I have never seen. I thought Tamura was taking the one. I didn't know someone in the Rebels team could kick this far. But he gets the kick from just inside the 50 meter line. I was like, at first I was like, why did you try this? You don't have anyone that can comfortably land this kick. But turns out he was pretty good. He gets the kick from just inside the 50 meter line. A big kick for him. And the Rebels gets ahead for the first time, I think, in Super Rugby Trans-Tasman. I was going to say Super Rugby this whole season, but I think for Super Trans-Tasman, the Rebels ahead of the New Zealand opponent. 15 points to 12. And then, the Chokers did what the Chokers do. They choke. And this was the biggest throw I have seen so far this season. Probably the biggest throw. So Rebels are now ahead by 3 points. Highlanders are, recognize the dire situation they're in. Really starting to lift their attack. They managed to get the ball back they managed to get the ball back and piling some pressure into the Rebels inside the Rebels half, and the Rebels were giving away repeated penalties, basically just giving away penalties for Highlanders to free territory for Highlanders to run at. Eventually, the referee stops the game, tells the Rebels, any more penalties, someone's going to the bin. Okay. Oh, he didn't say that. In fact, the Rebels were giving out repeated penalties. I don't think the referee actually said that to the Rebels at this point. And the referee just like, okay, penalties, advantage. And eventually, Highlanders were about 5 meters out from the Rebels' try line, just from Rebels giving away penalties, giving advantages to the Highlanders. So Highlanders were 5 meters out. The ball seems to popped out, but the referee goes, "No, the ball's not out." The Rebels number 2. Let me just get his name up. Jordan Ulesi sees the ball kind of like hanging out of the back. He thinks the ball is out. He goes in to pick up the ball. The referee goes, no. Ball's not out. He goes in the ball. So at this point, the Highlanders is already on the full-on advantage. And then the referee's already called full-on before like offside. So the ball is in the ruck. Looked like he popped out. Jordan Ulesi goes in to try to pick up the ball. The referee goes, no, the ball is not out. Hands off. But Jordan Ulesi puts his hands on the ball anyway. So the referee goes, okay, another advantage, offside. And Ulesi gets frustrated hearing that he just gave away another penalty. He kicks the ball out of the ruck whilst in offside position. That's a professional foul. Like, that is awful play. And sure enough, referee goes, yep, that's professional foul, cynical play. The offside would have just been like, it's already under advantage. So the offside that he gave away wasn't really like an issue, because it's just like, you've already got an offside. You've already got an offside advantage, and now you get a second one. It doesn't really matter that much. But the fact that he commits a professional foul, cynical play, by kicking the ball out of ruck, so the Highlanders couldn't play the advantage, he gets a yellow card. That was really poor from him. I was very disappointed. That was pretty much the end of the Rebels being in that pretty much spilled the end for the Rebels there. So Highlanders having 1 play advantage, back over this penalty, opted for a scrum, and sure enough, Rebel scrums got destroyed. And Highlander pushed the scrum from 5 meter line all the way into the try line. And the Highlanders, I think it was the number 8, Hugh Renton, he got cheated. He must be furious. Because, okay, get this. Highlanders had a scrum, 5 minutes against Rebels. They pushed the Rebel scrums back so far that they're like over the try line. And Hugh Renton picks the ball up as number 8 from the back of the scrum. He dives over, scores a try, and the referee blows his whistle, and the referee goes, penalty try, penalty try to the Highlanders. And Hugh, Renton was just looking at like, what? I scored a try, and Neo, you're taking it away from him. He got cheated so hard, guys. Like, he was in position to score the try. Yeah, sure, the Rebels scrum folded like a piece of paper, but he scored the try legitimately, put the ball down in the end zone, and the referee gave a penalty try. So that's why if you read the name, right, he didn't. So he didn't get the credit for the try. He didn't get the credit for the try. If you look at the point summary, he didn't get the credit. It's credit goes to the penalty try. The referee scored a try. So the try scorer here is Paul Williams. He scored the try here for the Highlanders. Oh, he must be furious. If you are Hugh Renton, he had a try and got stolen by the referee. So penalty try goes to the Highlanders. 7 points. Didn't have the kick. And that was just the start of the beatdown the Highlanders about to deliver upon the Rebels. So Highlanders applied piling pressure again onto the Rebels. Eventually, the Rebels luckily were able to defend and push the Highlanders out in the 5-meter line. Just before the Highlanders were looking really close to score, the Rebels defense did well and pushed the ball carrier outside their own 5-meter line, right? So the Rebels had a defensive 5-meter line out. They get the ball in and they set up like a maul and it kind of goes down. They should just kick the ball out, right? And I'm not sure what was happening. Like, the ball just didn't come out, and eventually the ball spits out aside, and Highlanders recovered. And then Highlanders just like, okay, it's our ball, recovers the ball, a quick ball to, quick ball to who was his name? Yeah, the Highlanders recovered. A quick ball to Dixon. He just basically picked up the ball and ran really hard at the Rebels defense. And this was only 3 minutes later. Second try during the yellow card for the Highlanders team. Dixon goes over as a result of the Rebels' defensive line-out error, I guess. I honestly don't know why they didn't just get the ball out. I think it was really, really weird. Anyway, like, they should have just gone for the line out, and instead of like trying to set up a maul or something, just give the ball back to your just get the ball, kicked it out like right away. I don't know why they're trying to set up a maul inside their own 5-meter line. That was that was really poor execution from the Rebels' part. And then the punishment kept on coming. 4 minutes later, the Rebels were like in the center field, right? There was a few back and forward kicks. Really didn't go anywhere. Eventually, Highlanders recovered from one of their own high kicks. And there was a really poor pass to the Highlanders fullback. To the Highlanders winger, Naraki. So the ball just like bounced and rolled on the ground inside Highlanders' own half. So this was probably about not far outside of Highlanders' own 22. Okay. So Naraki picks up this ball that was on the ground. One of the Rebels defender comes up. He just shrugs him off the first defender, like steps the first guy, like he was nothing. Looks so easy, and he runs up into a Rebels defender. That was a second defender comes up to try to tackle him. He runs up, little chip kick over the top, and he just runs, and then he just put the jets on, runs straight past the defender, recovers the ball, and runs 60, 70 meters, scores a try. Very easy. He didn't even look like he was trying. Like literally looked like he was playing in the park. And that's 3 tries during a yellow card for the Rebels. Yeah, it was really, really, really dumb. Anyway, once Rebels got their full outfit back, they were able to mount a bit of comeback. So they were... I missed the try. So, exactly. So Rebels were able to put a bit of a comeback. They were building nice phases against the Highlanders. And eventually, Highlanders were letting the Rebels get away with a lot of territory by giving away penalties. So the referee goes up to the Highlanders and says, okay, you gave out 3 penalties and no more. If any more, someone's going to bin. So Rebels goes for a line out, and the line out didn't go anywhere, and there was a quick crash ball from the Rebels, and then Highlander player was sealed off the ball on the ground. And the referee goes, okay, I just told you no more penalties. Yellow card. So one of the Highlanders players, number 23, I think it was, goes into the bin. Now Rebels has 1 player advantage. Okay. Sure enough, the Rebels were able to capitalize this yellow card. They went for another line out, which did not go anywhere. They tried a few crash balls, and again, it didn't look like they were going forward at all. Like the attacking was really lacking penetration in the defensive line, in the Highlanders defensive line. So a penalty, but again, Highlanders gave away another offside penalty. And I was expecting another yellow card, but the referee's like, nah, just another, just another offside penalty. And the Rebels take a quick tap, and eventually they just did a few more crash balls and some big hard running by Gibbon. He gets over finally for the Rebels' 3rd try. And now it's like the Rebels are kind of looking like they could potentially stage a comeback. And they're 2 tries behind, and they're 2 tries to win, basically. 2 converted tries to win. They're 13 points behind after this. So it's you're thinking, okay, this is doable. Like Rebels, if you put your heads down, everybody get on the train and we can do this. Sure, and the Rebels really did try, but it's just like the execution was just off. Around the 72 minute, the Rebels had a really good opportunity to score a try here. The ball was like kicked through by the Rebels player, so he was bouncing towards the Highlanders try line, and the Rebels number 6, Robert Leota, was there to get the ball, and the ball bounced up, and he just like panicked, man. He panicked, and he didn't catch the ball. He had like 1 player coming in to tackle him, and he was just like 2 meters away from try line, and he juggled the ball a little bit, and he knocked it on. They really needed that try. If that try was scored, then this would have been game on. Anyway, but it wasn't still. They still had time. That's only 72nd minute. So there's still like 8 minutes left to score 2 tries, which is doable. We've seen that with it's definitely doable. We've seen that with the Chiefs yesterday, right? So anyway, the Rebels were still building pressure with the yellow card in the So the yellow card's about to expire. So the Rebels are still building pressure. And eventually, the Rebels were given another penalty, and they went for a line out. And the line out came in, didn't really go anywhere, and the Rebels didn't look like they're going forward again. They're like going backwards from the line out. Eventually, they spread the ball out wide to Corin Betty again, who got the ball at the wing, and he just runs in for the 2nd try. It's just easy as that. Like, they just gave the ball to him, and he just ran in. He had, I think he had 1 defender he had to shrug off, but it was very easy. Corin Betty played really well. He created 2 tries, kind of out of nothing, where the Rebels looked like they really didn't have anyone to go forward with the ball, and Corin Betty just gets the ball in the wing and he scores. So that's 76th minute. So Rebels are now down. So Rebels are, to win the game, the Rebels need 2 converted tries. So this conversion kick is really, really important. It's on the sideline, and I've seen Tamura kick balls from sideline, and his kicking has been quite good. But yeah, I was very angry. He missed his kick. He kind of like rushed it, and it was really, really poor kick as well. It didn't get anywhere near the post. It was really wide. So again, the pressure, and he choked. What can I say? Tamura probably need to do better than that if you want to play against the All Blacks. So that was really, really disappointing for me, because the fact that Tamura missed this kick, it was pretty much game over for the Rebels. If he had got the kick, then the Rebels still have 4 minutes to score another converted try to potentially snatch the win. But yeah, he just it's just really frustrating to watch, to see this. Anyway. Despite that there was 4 minutes left, the Highlanders really, really wanted to win. And they wanted to win the bonus point. So they need to score 2 tries to get a bonus point. So Highlanders, despite the fact that they've already got the win in the bag after Tamura missed his kick, wanted to make sure they get a bonus point. This tells you the mentality of the teams. So right away from the kickoff, Highlanders recycles the ball, gets the ball back. And just like hard, quick ball running, short balls, hard running. Eventually, it took a minute for Highlanders to recycle the ball and for Billy Harmon, to crash over for Highlanders' 6th try at 78th minute. And it really shows the mentality between the two teams. The Rebels, after Tamura missed the kick, just look like deflated. Like almost, like they're just, all the players just staring into the abyss, knowing that they can't win anymore. Whereas the Highlanders look at this as like saying, hey, we still need 2 tries to get a bonus point. Let's try and do it. We have 2 minutes to do it. Oh, we have 4 minutes to do it. Let's do that. And Highlanders scores their first one. And on the 80th minute, Highlanders almost scores their bonus point try on the 80th minute. So right from the kickoff, again, Highlanders recycles gets the ball back and start piling pressure. It looked like the Rebels turned the ball over, but the Highlanders were able to retain the ball and start just running the ball out of their own half. And yeah, the mentality, man. And the Rebels were just giving away penalties, and Highlanders were just happy to keep running at you, take free space. And eventually, Highlanders got really close to the Melbourne try line, about 5 meters out. And there was Aaron Smith gets the ball from one of the rucks. He looks up and he sees a little gap in front of him, and he takes the dart and he goes in and he lands and it's like a tiny bit short, and he tries to shift the ball just that few inches further to get the try, and he drops the ball. And that was on the 81st minute. So Aaron Smith was just inches away from scoring a bonus point try for the Highlanders. And that was the end of the game for the knock-on. But man, that's really like showed the difference between the two teams. The Rebels needed one try and like a bit of points. 1 try plus 1 point somewhere, like an extra penalty somewhere, to win the game with 4 minutes left, and they basically just gave up. And the Highlanders took that opportunity to try to score 2 tries for a bonus point, and they almost done it. They were a few inches short from doing it. That shows you the mentality of the two teams. Highlanders were a few inches short after already secure the win for getting a bonus point, whereas the Rebels just gave up with the 4 minutes left. I was very disappointed at this finish for the Rebels. Like, if the Rebels had the same mentality as Highlanders, they could have won this game. Like, Tamura could have got the kick, and the Rebels could easily got a try. Not easily got a try. Could have worked themselves for a try, and instead of just giving up and allow the Highlanders to almost run away with 2 tries in return. Yeah, that's Australian rugby for you. Some of these players it really shows the mentality is just not there. The mental toughness is non-existent. The resilience is really lacking. There's a lack of leadership. There's lack of confidence between the team, between each other, amongst the team. And this is despite the score, the Highlanders truly showed like another level above the Rebels. And thank you for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.